Hey, everybody. Yeah, welcome. We are about to run a game from Studio 9, Greenwood of the Fey Sovereign. And we got our players here today. Players, please introduce yourselves. Johnny, go ahead.
All right, I'm Johnny. Here in California. I'm going to be bringing 4 noble adventurers with me.
Well, they're going to be mostly corpses because this is a funnel. And if you haven't seen the DCC method for starting a character, typically it happens through a funnel. You start out as a 0-level farmer. You've spent most of your life earning a few coppers. You don't even know what a silver piece looks like, probably, let alone a longsword. But the powers that be, as they are, and the forces of the universe put you in the way of some cosmic strangeness and usher you into some weirdness that perhaps if you survive, you can graduate to a life of adventuring and bizarrity. So then you become, this is the story of how you become. And then you become a first level Reaver and are eligible to enter all the magnificent dungeons that the wonderful world of DCC has available. So we are going to experience a lot of murder, blood, and death in this particular adventure. So if you haven't done a funnel before, please get your tissue box to the side of you. Get ready for detachment. So thanks for introducing yourself, Johnny. Adrian, your mic is muted.
Yeah, okay, that's gonna happen probably. Yeah, I've been playing DCC for a while with Aaron. I'm a huge fan of the game. The dice rolling website we're gonna use tonight, I helped work on that as well.
Can you introduce that, please?
Sure, and Johnny can help because he's the primary developer there. But it's a really cool little website. You just click on a dice, and the result shows up for everyone else who's using the website. So it's sort of a shared dice rolling application, and we're thinking of adding some more features in the future.
Cool.
Johnny?
And what's that website called?
That's rollfunkydice.com.
Great. I'm glad we're using it. Thanks for making it. We will be able to feel the thrill of natural 20s and the horror of nat 1s throughout the game. Appreciate that. Helen.
I'm Helen, and I've got, this is not my first time playing DCC, but is my first time doing a funnel. So
that is apostasy. I don't know how that can happen. Okay, it happened. Well, welcome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Dan.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm Helen's husband and good friend of Aaron. Been role-playing game adjacent my whole life, but only the last year or so gotten really into it. And so I'm looking forward to my first funnel as well.
Super awesome. You got your characters ready to go. And so we'll jump in with both feet. You guys ready?
Yep.
Ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, you guys have lived on the edge of the Greenwood forest for all your lives. And you've heard various rumors about this forest. You live in a land called Nanch, which is run primarily by an earl who's been a long time ruler of the dynast that he's you're currently under the yoke of. You've never seen the earl. You've rarely seen the earl's men, but these are special times, and there are rumors of war and rumors of deceit coming from the Greenwood. Rumor has it, the rumor you guys have heard in your town is that the Earl of Nanch sent gifts to the Elven court for Queen Leprolax, but the return gift was wrapped in spider silk cloth, and it was the severed head of the messenger himself, the only nephew of the Earl. Now it is rumored that Nanch has no Earl. Ever since you've heard these sort of rumors, everything has intensified around the border, which is, your town is a half day's march from the border. And this has caused untold difficulties in your region. It led to rumors of war. It led to an official march. And now you find yourself occupied. Your town is occupied by one of the Earl's armies. By the way, for those that are familiar with this module, I have a disclaimer and an apology. You may see things that aren't in this module because I get bored of running the same thing every time. I switch it up like a Rubik's Cube. So some things may be familiar, some things may be unfamiliar. And I think that's fair game in the DCC world in general. This is a creative process. So, you know, I'm going to go with my whim on certain things that may be different or not different. You'll see. So while you are under the toil of the hot autumn sun, your village has been approached by the Earl's army, a mass of primarily drunken, amoral brutes demanding your hospitality and your food stores. Your village is quick to appease the Earl, primarily out of fear, the Earl who for 12 years has endured the evils of the neighboring Greenwood kingdom. Now his press gang has employed you and other locals to, such as porters, cooks, gong farmers, servants, if you will, into service, to service his army. And your winter stores and the manpower in your village is diminishing greatly because of this press gang. So the choice before you is little of a choice. Will you join the war march as a servant in hopes of a share of the spoils? Or are you going to brave the winter alone without any stores or manpower in your village? I want to pause at this point to see if any of your villagers has any wise ideas.
I
Even-
have an elf character. Would she have an elven forester? Would she have any insight into what's going on?
Your elven forester has been in a particularly difficult position because while you were raised in and around Nanch, you basically your business is diminished. You would lead expeditions into the forest. That's become more and more strained. You were caught between two evils. You had made more friends outside of the forest, so you decided not to conduct any more tours. You've had to basically split wood and do menial tasks in order to earn a living. You don't understand half the things that are being said about Greenwood. You don't believe they're as bad as they're being painted, but yeah, some of it falls on truth. A lot of these things seem political to you, a little wiser, a little older than most, but you're also fairly much of a simpleton as others in terms of you haven't been out in the world. And this is looking pretty dire. You kind of have to lay your chips down with one side or another in this sense.
Okay.
I know one of my number, Madame Froud, is very happy to have the influx of new people, as amoral and rowdy as they are, because her background is a fortune teller. And so just having new rubes to be able to call in and tell the future to, and just, apart from a few coppers, is sort of business is booming. So she's going to follow that opportunity. I do have a quick question. Our village, one of the villagers I'm aware of I've got here is a mariner. How far from home is he? Are we near the sea, or is he really far afield at this point?
He's a mariner in the sense that he runs trade up and down the river.
Got it.
And that's the Glamgoral River,
Thank
which
you.
separates the two kingdoms. So he also has a little more wider view of the circumstances, little more in that he's trying to make trade on both sides.
He's a halfling, so he doesn't have a skin in the game either way. He just wants to get by.
All right. So since nobody has set any outstanding stakes in the ground about opposing being pressed, you guys all find yourself able to survive. So we didn't have to eliminate any characters right away as you died in a cold, foodless winter. So for the rest of you, for the entirety of you, you suffer through what is essentially a grueling march in this sweltering late summer, early fall heat. And it's over field after field that's run barren. The sort of constant demands and cruel oppressions of the Earl's footmen sorely test your will and your patience. But you don't possess arms and armor, and they do. But the need to survive also fuels you to endure even what begins to become kind of a disrespect for your fortune telling or your other services. A lot of you with more complex careers are essentially watered down to doing laundry and serving meals, which doesn't go well for a scribe or others who have earned better coin. After a fortnight, the army halts, building a huge campsite just outside of Greenwood Forest, which this has made you a little uncomfortable because you've heard rumor that even being near the Greenwood is putting yourself in peril because of the tensions of war. And during that time, you begin to hear a sort of haunting laughter heard from echoing through the hills deep within the shadowed trees of the forest. You even see great branches begin to sway to the rhythm of some unknown force, since there is little to no wind right now. All of this begins to disturb you overnight, and your sleep is not very restful. The dawn that follows is sort of a bloody red dawn, which for those of you like the fortune teller who read the omens, gives you a queasy feeling and not much of an appetite for breakfast. The Earl, however, has eagerly mustered his forces and plunge into the vast woods, keeping porters and servants such as yourself and a small detachment behind at the campsite. So you sort of, after serving the breakfast, see them set off. Shortly after they set into the forest, a low, heavy fog belches out from the trees, covering your campsite in thick, palpable mist. Your team is now initially tasked to stay and steward the encampment under the company of the remaining footmen after what is sort of a nerve-wracking day becomes a nerve-wracking 2, becomes a nerve-wracking 3 days, as no response is heard from the main army. No word even returns to the camp. Only an eerie stillness and the occasional distant sound of chimes coming from the forest. The guards now, despite their inebriation, seem, a little nerved. The day following these activities, where you start to hear these chimes more and more, the footmen form dozens of scouting parties, intent on entering the Greenwood to find the Earl and his army. Your entire group, your entire party is placed under the commandment of a particularly vulgar and brutish footman named Pertrib. I don't know if am I in the frame? Give me help here. In frame.
Yeah.
Yep.
Suck it in, soak in his nasty. Look deep into those dead eyes, if you will. As Pertrib, he becomes your lord and master. This particularly brutish and cruel footman, under the authority of the Earl, steps up to your group, which is almost entirely made of commoners. with this single soldier to lead your group into the forest. He senses, however, your anxiety, and he spits out a vulgar and quick speech in an attempt to rouse your courage. Oh, get up, you yellow turds. Least I give you a taste of something to really fear. And he shakes a rusty, mailed, dirty, alcohol stenched breath in your face, fist at you. And yeah, that's kind of enough to do it for most of you as you thrust up. Now, I would ask, starting with Johnny, then Adrian, Helen, then Dan, please go down the line as you look around at the folks that have circled around this particular scouting party and tell me what you all see.
Well, I see I've got Slow Mo here. He has a keen interest in what is happening, but he throughout his life, everyone has kept to push him to act faster, and he doesn't understand why. We have Kale. He comes from a long line of butchers. He and his brothers were named after vegetables so that there was no confusion of what was for dinner. As his brothers were Brock Oli and Sid Lantro. And we also have Six Fingers. He's quite the gambler, but he does feel that he has an extra finger to spare. And then we have Tangerine, whose sole possession is a strange-looking rock that he was once told was a tangerine, and he loved the name so much that it is now his name.
All right, Adrian.
Well, around the fire, you see Jeffrey Hilltaker. Well, despite his very disheveled appearance, and especially after that ordeal, although he doesn't usually keep himself very well kept anyway, he does carry himself with an almost infectious confidence. And you sort of think that despite the situation, he's thriving in this strange scenario. The trapper, is his profession. Hasidio Gebzo is a halfling dyer. His once vibrant teal garb is now matted with mud, and the same color cloth is kept in a ream wrapped around a 10-foot pole. He keeps about him at all times. He pulls at his bushy orange sideburns, nervously looking side to side. Varney, the former orphan, he's still a young man, and he's rather sly looking. He absolutely detests Pertrub already, and you can see him shooting daggers with his eyes. And his father figure, Marvel Mavadson, a dwarven chest maker who took pity on the poor orphan at one point in time. And even now, Varney keeps one of Marvel's chests with him as they travel. Marvel is also particularly stubby and short, so he doesn't travel very fast, and he has poor reaction speeds.
Okay, we've got Ludabella Hilbrew, who is unusual for a dwarf because instead of toiling away in mines, she grows mushrooms and is kind of a hippie, live and let live kind of person. She likes wealth and jewels and coin, but because it's pretty, and she loves her shrooms, which grow all over her staff. There's Bill Laster, who's a cobbler, and he's just a middle-aged, normal guy. He's just like, ready to get stuff done if he needs to get it done, kind of a guy. Solid man of the earth. Nothing interesting about him. There's Soren Graber, who is a grave digger, and he just can't help but be edgy and dark, and he's built like a brick and has a personality to match.
He has a sense he's about to get a lot of work.
Yes. And finally, there's Dreyfus of Eber. She's an elven forester. She's not very strong or have much stamina. Her personality is kind of crappy. She's very dumb. But don't worry, she's also not lucky.
He has none of the things. That's the
None of
character that'll make it.
Yeah, that's a winner.
Yes. With her one hit point, I'm sure she'll make it.
All right, Dan.
And then you've already heard a little bit about Madame Froud, who has been setting up shop, sharing the mystical arts with those who would go with her. She goes everywhere with her tarot deck, but also does carry with her the 10-foot pole that she has often used to pitch her tent, but is still a useful thing she found. Along next to her, you find Parabris Faring, a young halfling mariner who has been working the riverboats just about his whole life. His outlook and excitement about the world is pretty great. You'd think he was a great guy to hang out with, but he just is one of those people who, no matter what you say, feels he's got the story to one up it. And so his personality is just awful. You don't end up wanting to be around him very long, but he's enthusiastic. Beyond him, you've got Honus Cobb, who is a potato farmer from a long line of potato farmers. He is just about as bland as can be, nearly middling of the road of everything except for his intelligence, which is very, very low, which means as a result, no matter what's going on, including this terrible march, he's just sort of gone with it because what else is there? This is what's happening to him. He's one of those people who doesn't realize how bad the situation is and therefore somehow can't be punished by it. And then finally, kind of standing behind everybody else with a scowl on his face is Weymouth Fastbender. He's got a barrel chest, and that's very, he's a big guy with a barrel chest, which makes sense because he's a barrel maker. He has been a cooper for a long time, well known for being a cooper. However, at the same time, just has the worst luck, and so has a really dour outlook about everything, because if anything can go wrong, it's going to go wrong for him, and he's used to it by now.
Sweet. So those are the details of your scouting party. I will now implement a non-DCC house rule that I love to do for funnels, and this is called being fated. You are either fated or not fated, and you can choose to opt into this, and I will tell you what this means. If you choose to be fated, that means you pick one of your characters. You do not tell me, you do not tell the other players, that you secretly put a little X on the back of their character sheet, and that is the pony you are picking to ride out this hellstorm. If they should die, then whoever is the survivor is a little against the fates, and they start with a minor sort of setback in which is mysterious, and you will find out. If, however, you pick the fated character that made it, then they will begin their first level with a bit of a boon, and not a paltry one, but the risk matches the reward. So at this point, please raise your hand if you would like to be fated, if you would like to call on the fates. Excellent. So put an X behind one of your characters if you choose this. Dan, Helen, you're not going to be fated? You're not
I don't know.
going to ride the fates? I'll give you a hint since this is your first funnel.
All right.
Characters with a lot of luck tend to live. For what it's worth.
I have no one with positive luck.
Oh, that's not a guarantee anyone will live. And there are opportunities within the adventure that you may pick up if they all die. You may pick up more.
Okay, I'm choosing somebody, but we'll see.
Yep, me too.
Okay. That's the fun of it all.
We'll flip the coin.
Yeah.
All right. Pertrub sort of standing, spinning in a circle, looking around you, and he barks out at one of you, "Hand me my pack."
Jeffrey's gonna walk over and do it, speaking all the while. "Oh, yes, of course. This journey has been a long one, but I think we're really gonna make it. What do you think?"
And he rips it from your hands and grunts and makes a sound it's probably some sort of a guttural belch / hiccup. It's indistinguishable what. Maybe he was trying to say something that got lost in his inebriation. You're not real sure.
Indeed.
But you confirm it for real. And he's just waving you guys down the road towards the forest.
And can we see anything on the way there that may have been left behind by foot soldiers along the path?
He sees you looking around and he says, "What you looking for? Your courage? You ain't gonna find it on the road." And he like claps you on the back to try to get you moving. And in the bit of time you looked around, you know, a few discarded bones from chicken, you know, or something that they were eating. But outside of that, you don't see anything valuable particularly left behind. You have seen barrels of weapons and spears in the encampment, and other weaponry, but those are usually guarded. That's something you could, you know, but not immediately around you at this point.
I think Kale is going to make a run for it and grab something from a barrel if he can.
Oh, okay. So you're like spotting one of these, you know, guard tents basically, or foot soldier barracks tents, and heading for those. Basically, you're going to have to roll initiative against Pertra, because if he's quicker than you are, you may not like it. So
right.
roll funky dice. Here we go. We're in roll funky dice. If anybody wants to jump in the room, you can go to the good one and watch the rolls as they unfold. So here's Pertrib's initiative. He's not particularly fast on this one.
Got a 17 here.
Okay. You are faster than his initiative, especially since he has a -2 on that roll. So he is 2, you are 16. You set out, and you don't see him immediately moving towards you. You get over to a tent, and there's a couple guards standing in front of some weaponry who step up and kind of scowl at you.
I'm with Bertram. He needs us to go help him out, but I need something with me. Is there anything I can use?
They stand there, they look back at him, and you see him slowly slopping through the mud towards you.
Quick, anything, a dagger, a one-handed, whatever you don't like.
Personality check. Make a personality check. So D20 plus your personality modifier, or minus it.
13 even for Kale.
One of them kind of looks at you and says, hollers out to Pertrib, "This one wants weaponry." As he eventually slops over, he says, "What are the likes of you need items of your betters?" And he's sort of staring down at you and breathing on you.
The better I can help you with.
Make a personality roll for convincing Pertrib.
Ooh, straight 9.
He raises his fist to backhand you. What do you do?
I run behind him towards the group.
All right. He delays the blow. He didn't have the energy to follow through. He just wanted you to get back to the group. As he gets back to the group, he yells out, "Are there any other foolish ideas, or are we ready?"
Barney says something under his breath.
Honus is like, Honus says, "I'm just want to know what we're trying to do. Can you tell us what we're doing, sir?"
"We're going to go into that forest, and we're going to find the king's army, and we're going to escort them back. So keep careful track of your trail. Now let's go."
All right. He just philosophically moves forward. Everybody else sort of grumbling.
As you guys stumble through the fog, which has rolled back into the woods a bit, now is a lighter mist, you're feeling a little more confident about being able to track your way back. But you're constantly glancing over your shoulder, not only at where Pertrib's volatile male fist might land, but also just trying to keep track of where you've been and where you're going. It's not too long before you move towards an ancient stone causeway that emerges out of the haze. It spans the Glamgoral River, the border between Nanch and the kingdom of King Leprolox of Greenwood. As you approach, you make out 2 ornate wooden poles on the far end of the causeway. On one is a huge sculpted wooden leaf, and on the other is the face of a laughing elf, barely visible across the stone span. On the other side of the bridge on the path are a pair of feet from a collapsed figure whose details are entirely obscured in the midst. I will share with you a okay, no mind perturb. This here is the causeway that you come upon.
Ooh.
Okay. You see that through my muddled screen details? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. So in your character sheets, what I want you to do is mark, I'll assume that your group is on a path wide enough that you're all side by side, but each of you has a first, second, third, and fourth ranked character. So on your character sheets, or if you're doing it digitally, whatever, mark down the character that's leading, the character that's in second, third, and then fourth rank. This for ease of practicality when it comes to moving forth. In addition, I will say this, when we roll initiative, you're essentially rolling for your entire group. And they'll all act at the same, around the same time. And you can use the most beneficial initiative modifier that they have, which is probably just going to be an aspect of the highest agility modifier. All right. Perturbed sort of looks around and says, "What are y'all waiting for? March." Does anybody take lead?
Yeah. Kale will take lead.
So your group
The group
Your
takes
group.
lead.
heads in first. Okay. As you sort of pass over the river, which wafts up at you, and despite its dark, dank appearance, which you expect to have sort of a fishy foul scent, it actually brings up a sort of a floral scent. You feel like you're in a garden, and this mystifies you right away, and kind of alerts you and energizes you and alarms you all at once. And it sort of has, as you look at it, an inviting hypnotic flow to it. However, as you're trying to keep your footing and whatnot, you're not, drawn into it per se, but you can see how it's inviting to you. As you pass over to the other side, however, I would ask that your front rank make a willpower saving throw.
All right. Rolled a significant 1.
Oh, that is significant. Well, as you're crossing over the bridge and you're smelling these scents and you're enchanted by everything happening around you, you take little notice of the fact that something within you feels a little different. Do me a favor, roll a d10 and modify that roll by your luck, sir.
All right.
What is your profession, by the way?
A butcher.
Okay, you've had little to no experience around the flow of the phylogistonian energies, but you have heard good music. You have been around good stories. This has like a times 100 effect of that. What did you get on your
I got a 5.
straight 5? Okay.
Straight 5.
Okay. You suddenly feel a pain in your chest, as well as your legs, hands, feet, arms, as painful lesions begin to appear on you. And the rest of your group that's behind you is sort of shocked looking at you. you collapse and sort of bind these up, but they continue to bleed. You don't take any particular hit points of damage. They're not that massive, but it is unsightly. And being a little aware as a butcher of what the scent of blood does in a forest, you're a little alarmed. What's the delay back here? Get it going. And he sees that those four have crossed, but the rest of you are dallying. And he begins to raise a mailed fist towards you. Who volunteers to move forth?
My group sallies forth. This time, surprisingly, it's Marvel leading, not Jeffrey.
Okay. As he heads across, he also feels this enchanting effect. The leader of your group. Roll a willpower saving throw.
17.
What's his profession?
He is a chest maker, dwarven chest maker.
Dwarven chest maker. Okay. You feel some sort of influence, but you're used to elven ways and they're magical. You expect nothing less and you steel yourself against whatever trickery this is. You sort of clear your throat, hawk one up, spit into the river and lay down a dwarven curse as you resist the effects of whatever affected this poor butcher who looks as though his skin is opened up quite magically or randomly.
Say nonsense.
I'm not gonna ask again. Get moving. And Pritchard
right.
starts stepping forward.
Jatheus is going to lead her posse forward.
Okay, you make it across. And then the reward for those who stayed behind. Who has the lowest luck, Dan?
Oh, that's Weymouth Fastbender, the one who always knows if there's going to be bad stuff, it's going to be his.
A mailed fist comes across his face. And he ducks just in time as Pritchard sort of wobbles under his drunkenness as he takes another sip from his pewter tankard and starts swinging at the air around him. What do you do?
Weymouth says, all right, we're going, and sort of waves. Honus was already like, every time somebody started going, he started going, and then saw that the people he was with weren't, so he was like wondering why, and then he'd start going again. So now he's finally going ahead. The halfling and Madame Froud are sort of encouraged by Weymouth going, all right, yeah, we're going, and are sort of being shoved across by him, so that, worse doesn't happen.
And worse does not happen. Pritchard seems content to see that everyone's made it safely across, and he heroically follows at the rear and makes his way across tenderly and with lots of alarm and alert, even drawing his sword at one point and sort of poking it at the signs on the other side intimidatingly, then sheathes his sword back up and looks down at this body that you guys all see that you had just spotted the feet on the other side. As you're past the causeway now, across the river, you do find that there is a strange wizened figure with pointed ears and a long, thin mustache. His thin features are frozen in death. Around him lay 5 piles of ash. Those who are elven in the party distinctly recognize a higher order of elven race that is sort of rare to find, which are these high elven sort of erudite practitioners of what they call the deep magics. Sort of a rare sight to spot one. To everybody else, it's, oh, another elf. Look, another elf.
Racist.
Looking over at the elf that's already with us.
Was that figure who had fallen over we saw the feet of?
Yep. Well, get his fancy boots. We're not waiting here. Grab them and give them to me.
Madame Froud goes over the body and starts very, for show, definitely, feeling out energies and seeing if she can. Says, I am sensing that something terrible has happened here, and perhaps the best way to really fully understand the energies of this forest are pressing in on me, and I feel that the best way for my talents to be able to augur where the army has made it is to be back in camp in the open, where I can be open to the ley lines and the energies here.
I'm going to give you 3 seconds. Then I'm going to strike you. Get the boots. And he draws his sword, points it towards you, and takes 3 steps back.
All right. Well, at that point, she sort of knows what side her bread is buttered and starts untying the boots and feeling around to see if she can find anything else of value on him at the same time.
Well, the second you sort of even touch the figure, the entire figure, all its clothes, the boots, everything turns to ash and collapses, and a strange wind suddenly just kicks up, and this figure appears in the dust as the wind and the dust of this creature, of this now desiccated form, rise up and begin to dance and do a little sort of animated, bizarre shuffle into the fog. It is sort of jolly and macabre all at once as you're standing there with ash on your fingertips.
Well,
Soren nods approvingly.
Do you do anything with this ash, which you see now in your fingertips is sparkling?
Madame Froud will call over to Weymouth, who, being a cooper, is actually carrying a barrel strapped to his back. It's a smaller one, and says, help me with this, and asks him to come over with his barrel so she can see about scooping some in.
Most of the ash is gone. These piles of ash that were around this wizard figure are still there. You can scoop those up. Those do not sparkle.
They're
But
not sparkly. Oh, okay.
No, the ash that's on your finger was from touching this thing. And
Got
it's
it.
just slightly on your fingertips.
Well then.
Eat it.
You know what she will do? Gingerly pull out one card of her tarot card and try to scrape some of the ash onto a card and try to fold it up so it's actually, if she can try to get it off of her fingers that way.
Okay, it's off of your fingers now. Oddly enough, it is not on the card anymore. Something sort of floated away in the breeze. And this is when you smell rancid alcohol, and then you see the fat face of Pertrib lean down beside you and say, "Are you having a nice rest? I'll give you a permanent rest if you don't get moving." And he slaps you on the bum.
Ooh.
While we've been standing here for a minute or two, my party's just going to see if there are any suitable sling stones lying around.
Besides these 5 piles of ash that were around this strange wizardly figure, make a luck check to see if you can find any kind of. You're thinking of something to throw it.
Well, I have one
throwing
of
stuff?
my trapper has a sling, so a stone for the sling.
Oh yeah, you have no problem finding about in nature piles of suitable stone, for sling stone. So I would put a little check mark as long as you're outdoors with what would appear to be an infinite supply of.
Got it.
I'm assuming he's probably got a small sack of.
He
of
doesn't have
sling.
any containers, so he'll probably just be
Pocket.
maybe pocketing a couple. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know when pockets were invented, but Let's
Well,
assume
stuffing
this,
them into the
it's a
the
very
pants, yeah.
advanced community. They have pockets.
Why not?
Why not? All right, you can see the path past beyond the causeway continues deep into the forest, disappearing into the mist.
I think they probably went that way, says Honus, pointing down the path.
All right, lead the way. And Pertrib once again stands behind the group as you are commanded to lead the way.
Honus starts down the path without really worrying too much, kind of whistling to himself, and the rest of my team sort of reluctantly keep up with him.
All right, I'm assuming all teams are moving forward, so you guys are just pretty much side by side with your ranks. At the back, Pertrib leads the way, but it is not too long as you wind through this trail. It snakes and curves in ways that you find kind of impossible because it turns and turns and turns on itself, but it never crosses, and you're not quite sure. As a forester, you're a little confounded by this. You've made your way into these woods before. You know enough about the Greenwood to know it is moody, and has phases like the moon. And this is not a phase of the Greenwood you've seen. You know that the typical laws also, this is all elven knowledge that your character has, Helen. You know that the physical laws of the normal universe don't typically apply here in the same way because of response to strong magical forces. It is also not very long as you're confused and trying to track your way back mentally, like how do we get back, that you're disturbed by the fact that you reach a place where the path splits and you can now go left, which apparently goes slightly down, and to the right, which curves upwards into the forest.
Do my heightened elven senses pick up any major differences between the two paths? Is there any sounds or smells?
Senses here feel the dread of the footsteps of Pertrib coming up behind you. What are you, some sort of tracker? Tell us which way to go.
This way, of course, she says very confidently and gestures to the right.
So the right going up into the forest. And as no sooner you set off, you feel confident in your choice. The fog begins to lift a bit. You begin to get a little more visibility, but you also get the strange scent of a campfire, maybe. And you all detect it. You all smell it. It gets stronger and stronger. Pretty soon, some of you are coughing and choking. After a while, the visibility sets in. Your eyes start tearing up. Then you see it, and a rapid moving fire is raging through the forest. It is particularly being drafted from behind you, which means very little since this path is constantly curved, switched back. So that in terms of directional sense means very little to you, but it is behind you, urging you forth. Do you move at any different rate? Or do you continue walking, or do you move back into the fire?
Oh, my group is going to accelerate.
Yeah, we're gonna run.
Okay. Everybody take the least lucky character on your sheet and do yourself a chocolate flavor and roll a fortitude save.
Least lucky, but
The
do
least
fort.
lucky character, the one with the
I
most.
have
If
two.
you have
Oh, no.
multiples with the same luck, you get the luxury of choosing who has to make this saving throw.
All right, so fort is and
I got a 21 for
14 here.
Hesidio.
Look at you, fancy 21 man.
Yeah.
Okay, Johnny's got the 13. Helen got the 10. Dan got the 9. Okay, so you guys are overwhelmed by this smoke and fire and the heat of it, and you're sweating and panting, and trying to breathe and run in smoke is just sharp pain in your lungs. You feel fortunate that the trail is not obscured enough that you lose the path or trail. That is because Johnny's crew and Adrian's crew did not lose track of the trail. However, when you finally run through enough forest and a wind kicks up and begins to sort of like quell or push back the direction of the fire, you look at your ranks, and of course, unfortunately, Pertrib has made it through unscratched. But Helen, that person, and Dan, that person within your crews, are not to be accounted for. You can only think in horror that the loud thump that you heard while you were running, while everyone was coughing and heaving, was them collapsing under the smoke and collapsing from and dying of inhalation. You do not feel confident that you could go back and find them. I didn't tell you you were all gonna live. Now quit crying about it and let's move on.
I Weymouth Fastbender.
Scratch 1. Fast
That was
spending.
Soren. My guy
Not
with the
fast
most
enough.
my guy with the most hit points just died. This is not bode well.
Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, there's more ways
Was
to
it
die than hit points.
Was it the 2 beefy guys?
Yeah.
They just couldn't keep up. They're
Too
too,
much beef. Way too much beef.
Yeah, I was like,
not,
oh well.
not good at running.
Worst case scenario, Soren could just, he's got a shovel. He could just dig a hole. And but nope.
Well, as you press forward, you find yourself walking through these ancient boughs and sort of admiring the majestic, gigantic nature of these trees. You do hear the gentle cracking and groaning, which fills you with a sort of wonder and awe at how long these might have been here. You're making your way now into what is really the deeper forest, farther than you've ever guided people as a forester. And these are the lands that you would not advise people to go into, because ancient things live here that are unnamed. They existed before the art of naming, and they are not comprehensible to even keen elven minds often. Mischievous things live in this end of the forest. But it does fill you with a sort of wonder, and the path begins to meander so deep that you lose all sense of time, and you've definitely lost a sense of your place. A solemn sort of elder presence begins to creep into your minds. It is as if the forest wishes to know you, or perhaps to be known by you. Suddenly, the trees open into a large clearing, which you find a little refreshing because it was sort of getting a little claustrophobic. However, the clearing has several corpses in it, which freezes you in your tracks. The corpses are recognizable as the Earl's men, identifiable by their gray tabards, sporting the stylized golden goose. Now, who exactly they are is a little unclear, for their limbs and faces have been gnawed upon by something unseen and quite terrible. There are no signs of motion among them.
Ludabella, feeling the kind of tapping into the groove of the forest, kind of puts her hand down into the grass. It's like, hello, forest. How are you? And is just trying to communicate with
Make a luck.
nature.
Make a luck
Okay.
for the forest.
Let's see, what's your luck? Oh, good. No negative modifier. I'll take that. 7.
It's under your luck.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the forest seems to respond with a dewy patch of floral grass. When you open your eyes and grin to look down, you realize, dear God, it's a pool of blood. Something horrible has happened here.
Okay.
My party's gonna examine the corpses, see if there are any notable wounds.
All right. What's your profession?
It would probably be the tracker putting the most effort in, and maybe the orphan as well.
Okay. The orphan seems a little confused. Getting a good look, you'd think maybe they got chewed on by a bear, but it still doesn't quite make sense. Bear attacks might have gotten one of them, but you've never heard of packs of bears getting multiple victims. This is a little disconcerting.
Do elves tame bears? I asked to the forester.
Of course we do. Like, we tame all the things that we want.
Yes, indeed. Then I suspect these men were eliminated by a pack of elven war bears.
Obviously.
Suddenly there's a terrible frenzy of blurred motion, all shadow, fang, and claw. You lock eyes with a great unblinking yellow orbs before being mauled. Roll initiative.
Ta-ta.
The war bears.
And we don't add modifiers to our initiative. It's just a straight roll. Since
Yeah,
we're
I
rolling
mean,
for the group.
if one of your characters in the group has an agility that yields a benefit, you can add that
Oh, okay.
bonus to it. Take the best.
Man.
It's moot for mine. They're at 0, 0, 0.
Oh gosh, Team Dan has. What's your roll then, Dan?
10, straight
10,
10.
right in the
You
middle.
still are faster than me, and I had a +2 to initiative. So there.
Oh, so that's 8 for Team Hellen.
Yep.
Okay, I'm setting you into my initiative tracker. Adrian,
Straight 2.
you got the 2?
I got the good 2 out of
You got
20.
the wait, and strategic wait and respond.
Exactly. I have all the control in the world.
Team Johnny got the 6.
7.
Got the 7. Okay.
I don't feel so bad.
Okay. Well, everybody pick your luckiest character and make a luck roll.
Oh, wait. Luck roll is, you want to go low, right?
No luck. Well, I might have
yeah.
said it wrong. Trying to get as high as possible.
Got it.
That would be an 8.
I got a 12.
Does it matter which character rolled?
Yeah, you take your luckiest character.
Okay, right. Okay, they have similar but same bonus, but then Jeffrey got a 21.
Okay.
Jeez.
All
And
right.
Parabras, the halfling, has gotten 19.
Okay. All right. So you're rolling for your team. So this blurred frenzy of death from the forest, which lurches out in a flash, comes towards the front ranks of Johnny's crew and Helen's crew. So whoever is in your front rank is getting set upon. All right.
Hydrothas.
So Johnny's crew first. That is a 5. I don't think that's going to even hit the slowest of Mo's. So it whirls above your front rank as he ducks down, crashing into the forest. It's moving so fast you're not even sure what this thing is yet. Helen, your crew, that is a 15.
That hits.
I think your front rank got bitten as you guys hear the crunch of bone, and that is 4 points of ouch.
And the elf is no more.
Oh no.
Your lead forester is now forest food.
This is totally bogus.
Yeah,
And
at least she got to speak.
in a flash, you see her legs and boots being pulled into the bushes. You know, her whole body, but all you see are the legs and boots. But okay, this goes then down to first response. Dan, your team, what do they do?
All right, so they're going to try to see what's setting on them and fight back. Honus has his pitchfork trying to keep anything at bay. He's the one in the lead here. This is trying to.
All right, you're trying to get your bearings, and you just see a massive blur of fur crash down in front of the group. Another one's like already moving so fast. It's like the speed of a squirrel, but the size of a bear. And it's just moving in this frantic way that you're like, wait, what's going on? But you do see this mass of fur set upon Johnny's group is crashed down near his group, which was on the outskirts of the clearing there.
So he's gonna start headed over there with his pitchfork, trying to sort of push it off. And while he's doing it, shout, "Boy, these elves are training these bears something fierce. These attack bears."
Roll it.
That's just a straight D20, right?
Yeah. I gotta get Pertrib in here. I gotta get Pertrib up in here. There we go.
And he manages an 11.
What he manages is to poke at the air in front of him in what he thought was enough to get close, but evidently his fear kept him from getting too close, and he combs the hair of the back of this thing. Any of your other team doing it? The other two members of your team doing anything?
Parabris and Madame Froud are both going to try to find places to obscure themselves, if at all possible, and be less noticeable by whatever this fur is.
You're in a clearing, so unless you're laying down and acting like a gnawed-on body,
Dead body. Okay, then. Well. All right. Well.
sufficient to say they're paralyzed by fear
Yeah,
as they take in round.
they are not. They're reluctant to get in there. They're looking after number one. So
They're simple. They don't have combat reflexes yet.
other people are getting attacked. That's not them. So why go in there at this point?
Helen, it's up to Helen.
All right. So could Ludabella make it to scramble to a tree?
You are in the clearing.
How big is the clearing? Could she get to
It's
a
pretty
tree?
big. You could use your
Okay.
round to get to the edge of the clearing.
I see. Then she is going to pull out her hammer that she's got in her sack and try and throw it at the creature.
Oh, how very Thor-like.
Yes.
What is her profession, Luda?
She was a mushroom farmer.
Mushroom farmer. And she happened to have a hammer. That is
It
That's
was a
delicious.
randomly rolled.
randomly rolled item.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a dwarf. I guess it follows.
Dwarves
Rock
got
mushrooms.
hammers. They
It's like-
inherit hammers. Of course they do.
It's culturally required.
So you're whirling this hammer at the one that's taking the forester out, or
Right.
Okay. Roll it.
D20, do I modify it with my agility or no?
Yes, because it's a ranged. Yeah. Well, let's see. Agility
Doesn't matter.
But for the future, yes, I think agility does modify ranged attacks. So yeah, pretty sure. Yep. Okay. So that whistles off into the brush.
Bye, hammer. Okay. And Bill is gonna run to the edge of the forest.
To the edge of the clearing.
Oh, to the edge of the clearing, yes.
Okay, so he spins his round hoofing it. All right. John, your crew is beset upon. A mountain of fur stands before you and is sort of leaping towards you, or crouching to leap back towards the rest of your group. What do you do?
Well, Slow-Mo has a brilliant idea to yell out to the others and say, find weapons on the bodies. Maybe there's something you can use. While himself, he's going to stand frozen, thinking maybe they won't notice him if he's completely still. So that's what Kale, Six Fingers, and Tangerine start rummaging around nearby corpses.
Okay, I will give each of them a chance to get lucky. Make a luck check. Try to get under your luck.
All right. This one's for Kale. That is 2 under the luck.
Okay, roll a d6.
2.
You see that most of the men have no visible loot, and wear scratched up, ripped up, torn chainmail that would be hard in the heat of battle to remove and make usable anyway. I'm not sure how much of it's even usable, but you are just frantic, and at one point you tear off the boot of one of these guys, hoping a dagger is maybe tucked in there because you see a lump, and tumbling out is pretty decent sized Jim. The guy was tucking a Jim in his boot. Not exactly a weapon, but nonetheless a heck of a find. Roll your other 2.
All right. 6 Fingers. Also 1 under his luck.
Wow.
Roll a d6.
1.
You find a really, really outstanding hat. I mean, this is a good looking hat. You don't
Right.
know what kind of weapon it will make, if any. But damn, you might look good. Yeah.
All right, then. Last one is Tangerine. That is a yes, 5 under his luck.
Dang. Okay, roll d6.
A 1.
Okay. You find a holy symbol. What is the alignment of this particular character?
He was a lawful.
It makes your eyes hurt, and you don't like touching it. It seems vulgar and profane to you.
Oh boy. Okay.
You gonna take it?
I do, but I toss it between my hands like a hot potato.
Okay. It is, as luck would have it, made of metal and has lots of little sharp points. So you might be able to whirl that around and swing it, throw it at someone.
All right.
That could be a potential improvised weapon. A heck of a lot better, than a hat or a gem. Okay, that's the end of your crew, right?
Yep.
Okay, Adrian, you're up.
Well, Jeffrey was just in the middle of talking to this person who got mauled moments ago, so he's going to
Streaks of blood across your
He's running. He's running. Well, he doesn't scream, but he does run 30 feet, and he loads a stone into a sling before firing it off.
So he takes a 30-foot movement, and then
Yeah,
lets a shot go. Is it towards the one?
The one that killed the forester.
Okay, the one that's pulling the forester away. Okay.
Oh, it's pulling it away. He's still there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can
Yeah.
see it, but it's kind of crouching in the brush trying to
Well,
get
then
out of it.
because seeing that it's not as ready of a threat, he would actually target the other one who's attacking Johnny's group.
Hey, you made first call, man. First instincts.
Fair enough. Fair enough. First instinct.
You're not in an analysis mode.
It doesn't particularly matter in this case, as I got a 5 modified as a -1, so 4.
Okay, whistles up into the canopy. It was a hurried shot, one that you were a little stressful about, and the aim was way off. So your other
The rest, I think, would follow the example of the looters and start searching for something more effective than a club.
Okay.
All right, so starting with Acidio, the halfling dyer. Oh, that's a D100. There we go. It's a 20, which is not good in this case.
No, you that is the opposite of what you want. As you're stumbling along, you're like, oh, what's this? This is an excellent mailed foot. I could use this armor. And it's Pertrib, who swings a kick at you and says, get in there and kill those things. Oh, he hit you. It is for a D2 because it's just a mailed foot. It's a point.
All right. Acidio stumbles back, falls a little bit, and he's like, oh, yeah. He doesn't have any words in him right now.
Little welt appears on his head.
Mhm. And seeing this happen to the poor halfling, the two familial individuals, Varney will search for stones to throw at these monsters, see if there's anything like that.
Easily found.
All right, so both other characters, but Varney and Marvel, will take a pot shot with a tossed stone at the one that's savaging Johnny's party. Oh, there's a nat 1 on, I suppose the first one I said was Varney. Should I roll the fumble right now? All right, D4,
Sure.
I assume. It's a 3.
Yep. And modified by your luck, or
Right,
I
I
should say
believe
luck inverted.
Inverted luck.
Luck
Let me
modifier.
just. He has a modifier +1, so 2.
2. Okay. Yeah. In picking up stones and throwing them, it had a little more weight than you thought. You didn't account for that. You you trip or possibly
Oh.
trip. Make a reflex save.
Well, let's see what happens. 7.
Oh no, you did not make that reflex save. So mark down that
Has fallen.
character needs to spend next round standing up as they tripped and stumbled on their attack.
All right. Well, hopefully. Oh, sorry for that noise. Hopefully the dwarf will be a little bit better off. Uh, 15, even with a -2 modifier.
Yes, you struck him. So wham! And you were aiming at the one in the middle of the camp or the one moving towards the edge?
The one in the middle.
Okay, the rock slams into it. Roll a D2 for damage. It's just a rock.
Well, it's the full 2.
It's the full. Okay, clobbers this thing, and you feel a little victory cry go up inside you as you nailed it. You're feeling your confidence. Okay. Pertrib is yelling at the one that everybody that is moving towards the edge of the forest or that isn't attacking. He's screaming at him, you get in there and you fight or I'm coming at you. And he's just hollering out his version of encouragement. Start of the new round. The one disappears at the edge of the forest, as does the forester. Meanwhile, the one in the midst of the camp, Johnny, which of your 3 characters is least lucky?
That would be Kale.
Ooh, well, somewhat lucky, I would say. This great thing that you mistook for perhaps a bear is actually an enormous wolf, and its bear-sized maw just clamps down around your face with the roll of a 7. However, that's lower than your armor class, so you snap your head back. I would imagine that's lower than your armor class.
Oh, yes.
So you snap your head back just in time, but it puts the fear in you as this thing, crouches down to get ready for another attack. Goes to Dan. What does your team do?
All right. Well, Honus is a simple man. He's simply going to continue trying to stab it with the pitchfork. He's used to seeing wolves at his livestock, and so is as much as he's a potato farmer, he does have experience with sheep as well. So he's happy
This
to
is the
dispatch a wolf.
king of all wolves. No wolf have you ever seen the size of a bear that moves with such speed.
But Honus says, I see a wolf, I act like it's a wolf. So he's just
But you
gonna stab
muster
it.
your courage. You get a little closer with that pitchfork.
So Honus is going to try for that. So we'll roll for that first. It's an 11 again.
No, an 11 is not quite enough unless you want to burn luck. So luck burn works like this for those that don't know. You have a luck quality on your character, and it is a press your luck situation. Luck is the one thing that prevents you once you reach level 1 from potentially dying. However, you can burn luck, you burn your luck down like a candle and use those as direct ways to modify a roll that already happened. So it's a great mechanic for those new to DCC and a lot of fun because it's really risk reward, press your luck gambling on your character's life. And sometimes it'll save you out of a situation, but then make it so that later you're not able to survive. And 0 level characters can burn luck, but when they die, they don't get a luck check to roll the body. So know that once you hit 0, I don't think 0 level characters get a roll the body check. They're just out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, he'll burn a luck in this case.
Okay. How many? Just one?
So just one.
Is he a halfling?
No, he's a
No.
farmer. He's just a dude. He's a really lanky guy. In fact, he's
a
really
lot
tall and thin.
closer. A lot closer. You kind of poke the thing this time, and it pops up and jumps a little, but you didn't draw blood.
Dang.
All right. Any other characters there?
Yeah, Madame Froud and Parabras are gonna both try to come up from behind it. Parabras wants to he has a sack and is going to try to just wrap around the foot and just drag it out to try to make the thing lose its footing.
Beautiful. Roll it.
So straight D20 on that. That was a 13.
Sack wraps around this massive foot. What you don't account for is the strength of this thing as you try to impede it in some way.
Do I get to modify this by strength?
Your attack should have been modified by strength. Absolutely.
Okay, so that's a +1 then.
So 14.
14.
So what I'm going to say is this creature has to make a DC 14 reflex save. And if it misses it, you are definitely going to impede its ability to move and attack. It lurches out of that sack with a mighty 19, and your sack gets lurched from your hands and goes flying across the clearing. Okay, nice idea, though.
And Madame Froud is simply going to try to use the dagger that she keeps tucked away and simply going to stab as hard as she can there, right in its flank. So is it all strength? All attacks have a strength modifier then?
She's the one that got the dust on her fingers, right?
Correct.
Okay, this attack and this attack only gets 1 dice up on the dice chain.
Interesting.
As residue from this magical dust lingers, and she finds herself moving through space in a way she's never moved through space.
Well, thank goodness we have Roll Funky Dice because it actually has a D24.
Yep,
I don't know that I have one in my house. So.
Oh man, you got to get the funky dice.
I know. I've been
on display now.
Been a bad DCC player. Yes,
DCC
they're really cool.
dice.
All right, I'm gonna get one. 20.
Oh my god. I'm sorry to say you're not a giant, so that is not a critical roll. Giants get a crit on D24s 20 and up, but you would need a 24 to have a crit. So while it's not a crit, it is a hit. That dagger finds its home as it did not think you were moving this fast as you moved through space and pierced this thing. It howls out. What's the damage?
4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, D4 +1.
Oh man, more strength mods.
So that is a 3.
Okay, yes, it howls out. This thing is beefy. Bloodied, it is bloodied now, but it is a beefy thing. Okay, is that all yours?
That's everybody I got.
Helen, your heroes. Pertrib's particularly yelling at your fleeing.
Yes.
uh,
At the edge of the forest clearing, Ludabella looks around for a rock that she can throw at the beastie.
Not particularly hard to find. Uh, most of these are built on slate, rocks, this forest on slate and such. So you're able to look around and pretty quickly find and pick up a rock. That's your
Okay.
move action, so you can still use your attack action now.
Okay, well, she's gonna throw it.
At the one in the center of the group there, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, the one visible, yeah.
Mhm. 13, does that hit?
Yes, it just does clip
Yay.
this thing. That's a good news because you're firing into combat. So
Yeah.
the rock tumbles in and slams into it. Roll a d2, and of course, if you have a strength modifier, you can add to that. or
No,
subtract.
she is uncharacteristically weak for a dwarf.
Okay, so she has a neg mod.
No, she doesn't. She's
Oh,
got a
okay.
9. She's
Yeah.
just,
I'm strong.
but she got the full 2.
Okay, as it howls out again. And this thing is resonant as it sort of demon wolf echoes its displeasure into the woods, and you don't like all this noise at all. Okay, and your other character?
Yes, Bill is chastened by an authority figure and squares up his shoulders. It's like, well, got to do what needs to get done. Pulls out his awl, which essentially is looks like it's an ice pick, and is gonna try and stab the beast. All
Give
right,
it your all.
Yes. All right, no modifier, and that's a d20. Nope. He gave exactly what he can, which is not much.
All right, charging across the clearing. At the end of it, he plunges his awl at it, and it's too quick moving as he fights the thing into the ground.
That's all, folks.
That's all. All right, Johnny.
Right, so Kale is going to turn to the nearest of these wolves, and just so happens that he has upon his person a side of beef. He's going to take it out, say, hey, we can be friends. And he's going to toss it, hopefully into the mouth of this wolf.
All right. Let's see. Make a personality roll.
All right. That's a 3. Straight 3.
It slaps against it and falls, but it sees you as a source of food, and you will definitely be its next attack. So it is now centered on you. You have attracted its attention.
Oh no.
All right. Well, Slow-Mo decides that his tactic of being completely still is missing one tiny element, and he turns his back on the wolves to look like he's going away, but still completely still now. Six Fingers and Tangerine go and grab rocks. So Six Fingers first, if there's a rock nearby, we'll grab one.
All right, hurling. Yeah, there's
All right.
bits of shale rock everywhere.
Ooh. That would be an actual 18. So there's a -1 on that roll.
Hit. Damage. D2.
All right. D2.
Strength mod.
No strength mod, so it's just a 1.
Okay, clips him on, draws a little scratch of blood across its chest.
All right. Tangerine will do the same. Not his lucky tangerine, mind you. It will be a rock from the ground. He's saving the tangerine for the later date. Ooh. Wow. That is a 17.
Too many good rolls. Damage.
All right. D2. 1.
Okay. It yelps out again. It's definitely battered and bruised as rocks tumbling in on this thing from all sides. Is that everybody on your team?
Yep.
Okay, Adrian, I know you got one character standing up from that.
Yep, that's
Fall
what he's
down.
doing.
Yeah.
That's yep, that's Varney's turn. But the halfling who had the Pertrup's punch, he will stand up, collect himself, and rush forward with his staff and see if he can land a blow on this thing.
All right.
Take care of this problem. Sorry, I'm just a lot of windows. Oh, 14, and the modifier is a 0, luckily.
Okay, so that it strikes true as it's reeling from all the rock blows. You somehow weave between the raining down of these rocks and lay a staff on it.
And this is a really, really solid blow because he's channeling all of his frustration, all of his anger into this one thing, and he's going to burn a point of luck to go from a 3 damage to 5 damage, I assume. I think it's 2 for 1 on halflings.
Yeah, do you get first level abilities at 0
Oh,
level?
maybe not.
That's a
I
good
didn't know that
question.
was the first level ability.
I think it's
right.
1 for 1. Yeah, it's a
Got
first
it.
level.
Well, it's a 4 damage.
But you do recover luck, which is nice. 4 damage. And I'm sure someone can write in the chat if they want to correct me on these DCC rules.
I think that's right.
It's pretty fun to try to remember a 400-page manual for a game in which you're not going to pause to look something up. Okay, so ooh, wow, thud! You crash the staff down across its skull. You hear a crack. You're not sure if it's your simple staff or his skull, but he collapses in a heavy thump under the rain of rocks and other blows, dagger blows, as your group feels a swell of pride with its first victory. No sooner does the thing drop, I mean, immediately. And Pertrub is like somehow in his slow, drunken state, magically standing right in front of who collected the gem? What was the name of the character that collected the gem?
Kale.
Kale?
Kale, yeah.
Let's see the shiny. And he's just like holding his hand out, sword in one hand, other hand out to you.
Ooh, yeah, hands it right over.
Yeah, that'll go for the kings. And puts it in his bag. Your contribution to the Earl is noted. Don't try to pocket your own money, you squarbs. And you see him kind of look around, a threatening finger. This beat occurs, and then you hear another crash as the vengeful partner of this wolf with bloodied mouth from obviously pulling the forester off has now returned, and you're all on higher alert. So it springs into the group, and let's roll this. Yeah, that's a double roll, but I'll take the first one. Okay, 1, 2, and Adrian, the character in your second rank, who is that?
Oh, sorry, my ranks. That would be Varney the Orphan.
The orphan looks bite-sized and wonderful to this thing.
Yeah.
What is your armor class?
10, simple 10.
10. I got an 11 with this bite. You guys hear the childlike voice of the orphan screech out, and ooh, that's 6 damage.
Oh, he does not have 7 health.
Okay, it doesn't seem he's in the feeding mood anymore now that his partner has been slain. He's more in the vengeful mood as this demon dog shakes his head back and forth and flings the orphan aside in a crumpled heap and turns on the rest of your group. Dan, you're the next up.
All right. Mahonas's first thought is to say out loud, I don't think these are bears at all. And he's going to try to I'm assuming the wolf is pretty near where the other wolf was. He doesn't have much movement to get to it, correct?
You can get there in the round, yeah.
So he's going to just try to get up under it and just lunge straight up with his pitchfork. Try to get it under the chin if you can.
You guys are feeling confidence. You felled one of these. Certainly you can fell another. And your adrenaline's pumping. This thing has entered the wrong combat. All right, roll.
And that's an 18.
Woo!
Woof. All right.
He finally figured out the length and the thrust there.
Okay. Roll it. Damage.
And that is just a simple D8 with max damage. 8.
Wow.
Ooh, this one collapses to the ground in a heap. Make a INT check.
Okay, you ready for this?
Oh wait, what's your profession first?
Potato farmer.
Sorry, no intelligence check for a potato farmer. Never mind. I thought for a second you were the trapper. Okay, sorry.
No, he does have a pet sheep, so he's seen wolves in the past and worried about them, but that's about it.
Yeah, this wolf flops to the ground motionless.
An intelligence check probably wouldn't have helped him anyway. He's got 5 intelligence. So.
Oh, Honus.
Yeah.
Bless.
I don't think these are bears at all.
You feel the powerment of your victory. What does the rest of your crew do?
Madame Froud tries to see if there's anything besides their size that's unusual or magical or anything about these wolves. Parabris just goes to look to see if he can retrieve his sack.
Okay. Anybody else do anything special? You do find your sack. Not far
Yeah.
off.
Ludabella would like to try and find her hammer.
I'll make a luck check.
Okay. No, not Bill.
And try to get under your luck.
You can do it.
You can do it. We're looking at Roll Funky Dice, the good one. If anybody wants to follow along, Ludabella,
No, she doesn't find it.
you find some interesting sticks that look like that shape, but by God, you can't find that thing. Okay. Anybody else doing
well.
anything in the clearing? here?
Slow-mo is feeling very confident at once again having excellent tactics.
It worked.
And remind me, Dan, who was it that was investigating the nature of this strange
This
wolf?
is Madame Froud, the fortune teller. So even if she doesn't directly see anything, she's gonna say she does. But
Roll an intelligence check for
okay,
the madam.
okay. That's a 14.
You realize, unfortunately, a split second too late, as you lean in on this thing and go, it's not dead, and its eye pops open and it takes a chomp at you.
No.
+2 surprise attack. It was feigning death. Oh, you guys hear a
Oh.
crunch as it rises back up, bloodied and wounded as it is, and takes a 3-point bite. It's the minimal bite that it can take. So she got away from a lot of it. Did she get away from enough of it though?
No, not at all. That was, she had a single hit point. She was
Her
strong and wiry, but
let's just
yeah.
say this: she lost a lot of face in that fortune telling.
Oh, but
Wow.
That's it. Drop the mic. We're
you
done.
just see a cloud of tarot cards just slowly drifting.
Oh man, lost a lot of face in that one. That was a prediction she didn't have right there.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys have a live combat. The rest of your crew can interact first, Dan, because you got initiative. Yeah.
Okay, so we're not re-rolling initiative. I got it.
No. Just taking it in the order we have.
Okay. Well, Parabris went to go find his sack. He's only got 20 movement. Would that have put him too far away to reach the wolf at this point, or?
Yeah, he can make his way back.
So
Second hand.
does it's just snapped at her.
Yep. So it's lying down prone still. So you do have a bonus this round only.
Okay, so he is going to try to get around the back and again flank it, but try to get it so that it's in a place where it doesn't notice him as much, but use his dagger again.
Oh, dagger. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's a 12.
12. Ooh.
You know what?
It is prone. Hold on. It is
Yep.
prone. So you get a bonus. That's just enough as you plunge the dagger into it. Roll the damage.
That is
D4.
it's the most it can be. It's a 5.
Oh,
D4 plus 1.
drive it through its chest as it releases the fortune teller and gasps out its last breath as you are officially a Fey wolf slayer.
He's busy going, it wasn't dead.
Freaks you out. Yeah, you guys are used to wolves being tricky, but these ones are another level of tricky. Okay. Perturb goes around and stabs each of them multiple times now in a display of late heroism that is unimpressive. This guy's really starting to get under your skin.
I was gonna say, are we gonna kill him yet? Like, it's the plan.
Oh, he's your leader. He's your marshal. Perturb's
Bradley neighborhood Earl's person. Footman.
All about the feet.
all right. Which one of you darty stink of a sneaks stole gems and didn't tell me about it? That's got to go back to that man's family, Pony up. Anybody else find anything? And he's
The
kind of,
party's just too busy mourning the loss.
oh, don't cry into your soup. Get up. It's wartime. You're gonna have some loss.
Paribus would like to try to retrieve Madame Froud's other dagger, so he has 2.
Okay, that's achieved easily enough. Perturb sort of frowns and looks at it, sees the quality of it, and allows it. He doesn't try to abscond with that.
We got to kill more dwarves, he says. Sorry, we've got to. Sorry, we got to kill more wolves, he says.
Anybody else doing anything in the clearing here?
Honus is looking to see if there's any other paths around, but he's not too good at it, I'm sure.
Far side of the clearing, it's fairly evident that it plunges deeper into the forest, and it rises up too. It's kind of rising.
If
The halfling
anybody
is-
went anywhere, it probably went this way.
Sounds good.
Good.
The halfling's just going to take the chest that was Varney's.
Okay. What has he got? Probably like a little.
Yeah,
It's not.
Take
It's
it
not like
from
a
his-
chest. I'm sure.
I
somebody's
doubt.
dragging
Yeah,
it
yeah,
like
it's just a little thing, and he finds inside a single lonely ragdoll, which he gives back to Marble.
All right. Wow. Well, you can play with your doll if that comforts you. That's certainly an option. Certainly an option. All right, as you guys are ushered out of the clearing, Perturb kind of holds up and says, aren't any as the holy men or something gonna say a word or two for the fallen?
Bill says, well, not officially anything, but I I volunteer every Sunday at the temple.
Is this the
Sure.
grave digger?
No, this is
Oh.
the cobbler,
Okay.
just the normal guy. Says, all holy deities of various description, please accept these souls into your loving and or hateful embrace as you will see fit.
And Pertrib just rips a massively loud belch and sort of spits out oh, that was long-winded. I didn't think we'd get through that. Let's go. And he starts tromping off into the forest.
Honus puts a hand on Bill and goes, "That were beautiful."
All right. As you press into the woods, searching for more clues about the fate of the Earl and his army, the path begins to get like a little rougher and a little harder to follow. You start to come across steep gulches and extreme drop-offs of a sudden that you just stumble upon, and the path just rides right along the edge of them. And this leg of the journey begins to really tax your calves and thighs and knees, because there's a lot of real steep, abrupt climbing. At times you're stumbling on exposed roots that seem to pop out onto the path from where no roots seem to be before. Sudden rocks and stumbling blocks that your eyes did not detect trip you up, and you look back and there's just mockingly this thick boulder that you clearly didn't see a second ago. You begin to get agitated at what you feel is sort of a personalized attack against your passage through this forest. In addition, you begin to get disoriented more severely by the looping and seemingly endless march past tree after tree that doesn't bear any distinction from the one prior, the millions prior that you've passed now. You wonder in a bit of sorrow if you're a little desperately lost. And it's at this point that you sort of hear some distant chimes and music. It has a sort of ethereal and attractive quality that soothes and delights you. It's a reprieve from what has been so far a rather painful journey. Your spirits begin to get calmed. You almost sort of have a mirthful lightness in your step. You don't feel the need to keep your daggers drawn as you sheathe them, and walk a little merrily, maybe skipping, holding hands a bit with those to the left and right of you.
Honus
Isabella is just having the time of her life. This is what she was made for.
Yeah,
Honus
you're
says-
like, you begin to look at Perchim and like, what are we all fighting for anyway? Worries
wants to-
begin to lift. Your feet feel lighter. You're not stumbling on any of these obstacles anymore. You're really absolutely transported by this gentle acoustics and this hauntingly beautiful melody. Even now that you look upon Pertrib, he seems to be attempting a sort of an unnatural grin of yellow teeth, like these little corn rows of yellow teeth that expose a sort of unnerved look that you really wish you could forget now, as is probably the first time in his life he's ever attempted mirth or a smile, and it doesn't sit well on his features. It's like it's a little grotesque.
Honus take the opportunity to lean over to Slow-Mo and just whisper to him, I'm starting to think this forest might be a bit magical.
Each of you are allowed take the character that you think would, can represent your group, that will make a willpower saving throw. And so whoever you think has the best chance, who has the best willpower saving throw modifier, which is really a root integer of your, maybe it could be your luck if you
Nat
have a
20.
luck skill. Oh my gosh. Your group is, delighted, but not totally distracted. You're still attentive to your surroundings.
To dig
Bill
into
is a get the job done kind of guy, and he's not going to be put off task.
Yeah,
to get into what you were starting to say about luck, because
well, luck would modify this only if your sign is, lucky sign is one that affects willpower, and
Got
that
it.
should be in the sheets already.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Then never mind. I know who I'm doing it for.
Sometimes I'm over explaining things to sort of assume if a listener doesn't know DCC that maybe they can pick up things in the little rules in the fabric here.
I'm learning too here, so thank you. That's perfect. And yeah, so.
And I'm
great.
forgetting as we go, so that's we're just trading places. Okay, so Adrian, nay, Johnny, nay, Dan, nay. The rest of your teams are so entirely distracted and consumed by the enchantment that your heads are lolling, you're closing your eyes at times, you're really here but not here. Your mom could walk onto the path and you wouldn't recognize her. So I need to roll. What? Okay. Okay. Johnny, your characters hear a slight jingling noise. And the character in your second rank, what is the second item in your inventory for them?
The second item is a waterproof sack upon slow-mo.
Okay. Slow-mo feels literally lighter, and go ahead and scratch that item off. Slow-mo doesn't notice this till later, but I am alerting you now. Okay, Adrian, who's in your back rank?
That would be Marvel, the dwarven chestmaker.
Marvel, the dwarven chessmaker. What is the fourth item on his inventory?
He has one. Well, let's see. He doesn't have four, but
Well, then it would be the last item.
Indeed, piece of chalk. Even difficult to notice.
That's hard to notice. He'll notice it at some point. It is gone. Go ahead and mark it off. And he also hears this jingling noise next to him. Dan, who's in your front rank?
You're muted.
Yeah, of course I am. That's Honus, the potato farmer.
The potato farmer's first item in their inventory is what?
A sheep.
Yes, you reach
Been
out.
skirting around behind him this whole
Yeah.
time without Pertra really noticing.
You reached back to pet your sheep in this moment of delight, and you get a fistful of fern or something, and you're like, oh, that's not my sheep. Oh, well, he must be around here somewhere. It is a little while later that you realize your sheep is entirely missing.
Oh, this is so special.
Once I saw the pattern of which item it was going to be, I just knew, and there it was.
Okay, Helen.
Yes.
You are a little more aware, a little more astute, and you can't help but notice a very, 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 very tiny man springing about the path at a lightning speed, dancing up amongst the group, making a sort of a jingling bell-like noise as he mounts and rides one of your group's sheep. The sheep suddenly eyes turn a bluish color and it begins to move with a clarity, and he begins to lighten various objects off of your party members, appearing to jump from pack to pack and then jump off back onto his trusty new mount. What do your characters do that witness this? Everyone else seems oblivious to this. You happen to have spotted it.
So different reactions. Ludabella, Hilbrew is just enchanted by this and goes, "Hi, little guy. How are you? Are you doing something sneaky?" And
Personality roll. Personality roll.
let's see, her personality. Oh, well, it says Bill, but that is Ludabella's. 19.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, something might happen there. Now, okay, so that was Ludabella's. What does Bill do?
Bill is outraged by this disorderly conduct and shouts to the group, "Hey, there is someone who is pilfering our belongings." And he pulls out his awl and shakes it menacingly at the little man.
The little man, you hear a jingling noise as he gleefully darts off the path, and everyone's sort of pulling out of their reverie. Ludabella, however, what is Luda's alignment?
Neutral.
Neutral. Okay. She sees a little sprouted, his fingers pop up at her like this, and a little sprouted rainbow light form arcs between his hands and her forehead. And she feels like hit her, and she's sort of charmed for a moment as he is charmed. You can use this charm at any point. And what it will do is result in either a natural 20 or a natural 1. It is a 50-50 chance of either. So at some magical moment, you can call on this little charm of the brownie and gain a nat 20 or a nat 1. You won't know which one it is until you use it.
That sounds appropriate. That's awesome.
And you catch a little giggle as this little guy runs off. Upon kind of your Bill's hollering out, everyone's suddenly aware of the reality as you checked your stuff and the theft of these objects. Prutrub, however, is on a whole nother level as he explodes into a violent rage. "If there's one thing I can't abate, it's a thief." And he draws his blade and, looking right at Bill, says, You're the one that got my stuff." And his face is like a beet red.
Bill,
"I'm going to give you the count of 3 to return my stuff. And then if you don't, I'm going to spear you through." And he raises his long sword and counts it off. 1.
he runs away saying, "No, let's be reasonable about this. I did not steal your things."
2.
He's still running.
3. Set upon him. And he looks at the rest of the group. "Get the thief." And
Oh,
sure
that's
enough, you guys don't know where your stuff is. Some of your stuff is gone.
Ludabella calls out, "It wasn't him. It was somebody who went into the forest. I saw him. He went that way."
"I saw no one go into no forest. What did he look like?"
Did he look like? I mean, just a little man, right? Or did he have different colored skin? Or
Yeah, you saw a tiny sort of pale green, yellow man with a brown leaf-like clothing, riding on a sheep.
it was a man with green skin, and he was mounted. And so he just went by real fast.
You see just sweat breaking out on his face. "You're collaborating with him to theft me, and that's 3. And he raises his sword to take a blow. Roll initiative. It is on. Pertrib has turned officially.
All right. Get up, get up.
All right. Dan. Oh, what did you get, Helen?
A total of 20, not a nat 20.
Whoa. Dan.
11.
John.
Okay.
John. 10.
10.
Adrian.
19.
Whoo. Okay. Catherine, Bill, and Luda are first. What do they do?
Okay. Is he close to Ludabella or is
Yeah, right in front of her.
okay?
Bill's down the path a good,
Okay.
whatever his movement rate is, that much.
Ludabella is a pretty easygoing dwarf, but she doesn't like being accused of something. So she is going to try and scoop up a rock and throw it at his noggin.
It's a hand-to-hand attack at this point. He's right in front of you.
Oh,
Scoop up a
okay.
rock and try to dash him. Okay.
Is that an improvised weapon at that point?
Pretty much.
Okay, well, she'll use her staff.
Okay.
She has her mushroom stick and just whack him on the head.
All right. Trying to whack some sense into him.
She doesn't like being this close to somebody. It's a 4.
He quickly raises his shield. He's despite his drunkenness, he seems battle ready reflexes, and you're a bit scared at how easily he deflects the blow. And Bill
is feeling ashamed for once again running away from battle, and kind of straightens himself up and kind of looks at everybody else and goes, I'm telling you, it wasn't me, but this man is going to lead us to our deaths. We all have to get him.
All right, Adrian.
Marvel just yells, "You belched at my son's death, you blackguard," and he runs in with a chisel to the spine.
Oh, there's the makings of a road.
It's a nat
right
1,
there.
however.
It's a nat 1.
Oh, no.
He also seems to have gotten the blessing of the brownie. Okay.
It is a simple 1.
Fumble 1. Simple 1. Okay. Yeah. Your great speech is matched by an equally ungreat attack that becomes really just sort of the laughing stock of the group as you stumble on one of these strange roots and just like kind of flop around and swing around a tree, catching your balance. And
I accidentally
you
chiseled the
look
rock
like
she
you're-
was about to pick up instead of his throat.
Okay. And yeah, everybody's like, what was that? Like, that didn't even look like an attack. So, and your other characters?
He's right. The halfling shouts out with his staff. Hopefully, nope, it's a nat 1.
Oh,
Another nat
Oh,
Whoa. Okay. So first of all, what gods of fate did you curse
Goodness.
before this game?
Oh man,
Adrian, man.
it's a 2 on that one, and no luck. Oh no, actually the luck mod is worse because of that 1 luck spent. So he has a 3 on his roll.
And what was the
Roll.
weapon? That was the staff.
That was the staff.
Okay. Just the staff just wrenches loose in your hand as you're getting ready to attack. And your grip is disrupted and you're just sort of fumbling around with it. So your next attack, no matter, it's not like, yeah. So your next attack's at -2. So just keep
Oh,
that in
well.
mind as you're sort of like, yeah. So next round you'll get a -2 to hit. Okay.
Ah, you fools! Jeffrey runs in with a kick, simple kick. See if he can knock. He's gonna see if he can knock.
It's
Birch
looking
up to
a
the
little
ground.
Keystone Cops around your
It
character.
is, but Jeffrey is slightly more competent with his 16.
And that was okay. So he brings a staff down on him, he said?
He doesn't have a melee weapon. He's just gonna try to deliver a kick, and if possible, knock him to the ground.
Oh, okay. All right, just laying down. Does he have any strength? Like,
No mod on that. So simple 16.
okay, so okay, that does land. It's like a DC 5 for this guy. He easily keeps his footing. It doesn't. He's wearing heavy
D2?
armor, huh?
D2.
Yeah. So D2 strength mod.
It's a 1.
I'll
Solid
say-
kick to the groin, or not groin, buttocks. I assume nice and well padded.
Popped him hard with a boot. Okay, and let me see his hit points. Yep. There we go. I love this little handy sheet. This is very helpful. Okay. Okay. So it goes down. That's all yours, right, Adrian?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. He didn't quite care for being kicked. So the ire that he was going to bring the blade down on, he figures you're in cahoots with the thieves and jabs the kicker with a spear, with his sword. Ooh. Okay, that's a totalis of 14.
That would be a hit. And this character has 1 hit point.
Okay, well, thanks for saving me the 0.4 calories of reaching up and rolling the damage.
Glad I could.
His crappy, rusty longsword plunges into you, and you collapse to the ground.
Jeffrey the Trapper.
The Trapper?
Yep.
The Trapper is no more. Man, the Forester and the Trapper. This is the makings of
Not a
horror,
good situation. Yeah.
because everybody's trapped in a forest that they have no skills to get out of now. Okay. That goes then down to the Team Dan.
All right. Well, Honus is gonna say, "Oh, we're throwing weapons at him, huh?" And gonna come over and try to get him with his pitchfork. He's gonna just work right at the thigh, right, to make it just extra painful and slow him down. And it's a 10.
It's 10. Okay. He lowers his shield in time to deflect the bulk of that blow, and the rest of it is chainmail absorbs. And he sort of grins at you. He says, "That ain't gonna work." Who's up next?
That's the halfling mariner, Parabris. He is going to, it almost worked on the wolf, but it really was much bigger. This guy's a lot closer to his right size. He's going to try to bring the sack over the head.
I love the sack attacks.
Not over the head, around the legs, and again try to just knock him off his feet.
A little leg time. Okay.
Yeah. So he's got daggers, but if he can get the guy down first, he'd rather. And he now wins. Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
I think Pertrup's the one who's blessed.
Yeah, no kidding.
D4, roll it.
We're gonna have to do another funnel.
That's a 1.
Okay. Well, it's not. You don't have a luck modifier, right?
No.
Okay. You just sort of lower yourself to kind of wrap it around his legs, and you just fumble with the sack and look ridiculous as you knock into his knees and kind of.
I figure he twisted it up like like you do with a towel to snap somebody, to just get it around his, and he ends up like snapping himself with it.
Yeah, something beautifully, gloriously ridiculous. And you even hear like, a little jingling and a little baying of a sheep as this little brownie starts giggling at you from the forest. Okay. Is that all your guys, Dan?
That's all 2 of them.
That's all 2 of you. All right, Johnny.
All right. So Slow Mo is gonna see if
You have all 4, Johnny?
I do. I still have all 4.
Adrian,
somehow.
you're down to 3.
Down to 2 because the orphan also got bit by the wolf.
That's right. So it's 2, 2, 2, and 4, right? I think, yeah.
Slow-mo's tactics, man. They're working.
Slow-mo.
So Slow-Mo's gonna, yeah, he's gonna see that tactic also extends to unwell humans. So he freezes completely, looking right at Perturb. And then Kale says, cutting is for food, not people, and lunges toward Perturb and tries to grab the sword out of his hand.
Oh, okay.
So maybe a grapple of some sort.
Got to roll a hit first.
All right. 19.
Oh, wow. You get a good angle at him. He doesn't see you coming. You grabbing for that sword, and now you guys are contesting strength rolls. So roll your d20, modify it by your strength. I'll roll my d20. Shua! I got a 14 total. Percher be strong. He's drunken strong.
A 2.
Okay, but if I'm not mistaken, you scored a nat 1.
That was a natural 1. Yes.
Okay. What happens is you get in a contest with this thing, and he basically gives it to you. So he gives you the blow, and so he pops you, and then that kind of stuns you, and he pulls back. So he gives a mailed fist to you for, it is a D2 plus his strength. That is, oh no, mailed. This is a mailed fist. Sorry. 1 anyway. 1 and then +1. So that's 2 points of damage. This guy takes 1 to the nose there.
Kale has fallen.
He's losing his energy. He's losing the stiffness to Kale is no more.
It is wilted.
It's wilted Kale there.
Yeah.
Okay, Kale collapses under a crushed face. Nat 1, brutal. And your other tunage?
Tangerine is going to take this strange looking rock and see what he can do with it. And he just tries to land it on Percher.
He hits him with his tangerine?
Yeah. Well, he's been told it's a tangerine, but he believes it actually has much more finer powers than that. And he's eager to see what happens.
It's a red rock? It's just a red rock?
A strange looking red rock, yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, I know what this is.
That is actually a 19, not a 20 as you would think it is.
Okay. So it is an improvised sort of D2 weapon modified by his strength.
All right. 2 points.
Crush. Wow, he loves this weapon. He's gaining quick proficiency in this weapon. As he lands a crushing blow on his head, and it kind of dents Perturb's helmet. Now. Okay, raining blows down. Is that all yours, Johnny?
One more is 6 fingers. He does go after. He picks up a nearby rock if there is one.
Okay.
And joins the fray and tries to dash Perturb.
You're in a different area than the clearing. Do yourself a favor, and roll yourself a luck check. See if you can find something suitable weaponry in the forest weaponry.
Yes, significantly under my luck with the roll of a 1.
You find not only a rock, you find a beautiful fallen branch that's just like, oh, this thing would make a devastating either throw it or club somebody with it. This thing is like a really beautiful kind of shillelagh style. Yeah.
Yes, he will use that.
All right. It's got a nice knotted root end. It's just at that perfect kind of hardwood but lightweight. Swing away.
All right, here we go. That is a 14 even.
All right. And D4 modified by your strength.
All right, that would be a 0. It is 2 points.
Crunch as you give one to his gut, and he doubles over a bit. Okay, that's your crew. So back to a new round. What is Bill going to do? Bill and his partner.
Okay, so Bill is going to double up on the attack that just happened with his awl and try and shove his pick into this man's ribs, puncture his lung, do something. But an awl is a very short sort of thing, and I don't think it pierces.
Oh, he got the 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't able to get there. He's
Oh.
well armored. All right. Lulabelle? Is it Ludabelle? Lula Bell?
Luda Bella.
Lutabella?
Luda Bella Hilbrew is going to twirl her staff flare and try and whack this guy again. Straight roll because it's melee. Wow. All right. Nope.
The dice have gone into the gutter on you.
Yep.
Yeah. So no,
Non-combat rolls, I'm fine, but as soon as I get to combat,
you're fancy swinging above your head. You're wailing into different branches and hitting things like, oh, dang it. I shouldn't have done that. That's going nowhere. Okay. Pertrub's raising up for another attack. Adrian, what does your crew do?
Well, the 2 short men of the party, Marvel and Hasidio, after their foolishness of last round, will fall upon him with further strike. So here's the chisel first. It's a 2. And the staff, which has a -2 modifier, but it hits. It's a 16.
Oh, geez, it sure does. Roll your damage.
All right. 1 damage. It was a hit.
Blows are raining down around him. All right. Pertrub yells out, I'll have mercy on the one that gives me back me lucky rabbit's foot. And looks down and let's see. Let's do it this way. Ta-ta. Do. Okay, and ta-ta. Lulabella, he brings the blade down thinking you are the thief. Ooh, it's an 8. I think you probably
that misses.
Okay. He swings into the tree near you, thump, and it digs deep into the tree bark as you usually like gulp, glad that wasn't to your head. Goes down to Dan's team.
A well-oiled combat machine, all of us are here. Just miss, fumble.
I mean, to be fair, that is more accurate to actual combat.
It's true. Just like,
Right.
Get him, muss his hair. So
You're raining sticks and rocks down on this armored guy here.
Parabris is in possession of 2 daggers. Can he use both at once at this point?
Oh yeah, you can do anything you like. I will refer you to you have a book, right?
Yes.
So fighting with 2 weapons is an entirely achievable activity. By the way, what is, and you've already committed to doing it, so you're going to do it.
Yeah.
What is your agility?
It is 11.
Okay. So in your primary hand, you're 2 dice down on the dice chain. So you're swinging a D14.
Okay.
On your offhand, you're 3 dice down on the dice chain. So you're swinging a D12.
Okay.
You cannot score a critical hit when you're at your agility when you're 2-handed fighting.
Okay.
So this, by the way, for those pursuant in interest, page 94. That's a page 94 situation. So anyway, D14, D12. What's your modifier to hit?
That's a strength modifier, right? So
yeah,
that's a +1.
Oh, yeah. Something's doable.
Yeah. So we'll start with the D14 first. So essentially, he's throwing down the sack and saying, "Well, this isn't working," and is gonna start with his better hand. So that was a D14, you said, and it's a total of 2.
Okay, it doesn't connect.
Yeah, and he's gonna try with his offhand at the same time, and that is a total of 12.
Ooh, wow. He's feeling close on that one as it gets embedded in Pertrib's chainmail. Does he get lucky? Does he use his luck to
Yeah, Parabrus will burn a single luck for that.
single luck? And still didn't get through his chainmail.
Oh, geez, I keep doing that. Okay.
Okay, so this goes, that's both of yours?
That's no, that was Parabrus's both hands.
Oh,
Hona
Parabrus, yeah.
still has the pitchfork. He's just doing a big old jab. This time for more of the torso instead of the leg. The leg seemed to be a little bit tricky, so he's gonna make it this time.
Oh.
See? The 19.
Oh my gosh, looky here. You may have felled the mighty Pertrib. That's awesome because that's like a D8, right?
It is a D8.
I mean, that's the god's weapon amongst plebes. I mean, the pitchfork is
Yeah,
it.
he's dumb as a rock, but he's got the pitchfork. So
all
he
right.
got 3 damage on that.
No strength mod, right?
No strength mod on
Okay.
him.
All right. Buries 3 of these prongs, not deep into Pertrib, but enough to get him to grunt out, and he's bleeding bad now and stumbling around the path, kind of flailing sort of desperately at the air as he's really losing heart on this combat. He's almost dropped down. Johnny, your team.
All right. Slow-mo is finding success in his plan, but a very slight adjustment. He's going to step about an inch to his right.
Okay.
We're going to have 6 fingers.
Does it, okay,
going
first
to-
of all, does anybody know who he's referencing? You got to look slow-mo up on the internet. I actually saw this guy once skating in San Diego. He moves as slow as he possibly can. And the documentary on this guy, it's amazing. It's like he's found his own way of achieving nirvana through like moving as slow through space as possible. It's something to watch. But anyway, yeah, good pickup. Thank you. Nod to slow-mo, so that's great. Anyway, go on.
All right, so 6 fingers, he's going to try again with his club that he just got.
The shillelagh.
A shillelagh. Straight up 9.
Hmm.
All right. I assume that doesn't hit.
Bounces in effectively off his shield. Pertrib feeling his comeback coming here.
Well, Tangerine's going to use his tangerine again. Ooh.
Oh my God.
Straight 19.
It's not a magical weapon, but it's a magical weapon at this point, isn't it?
It
Yes,
is.
it is.
Cannon.
Yes.
That's definitely true.
He brings down the sharp tangerine, his reddish stone on him. Okay.
1 point.
As you guys see Pertrib, as Tangerine leaps into the air and clumps him down on the back of his head, Pertrib falls in a lump to the ground.
Tangerine.
You guys stand around and take a beat as you realize the engine behind your vehicle is now kaput, and free from this oppressor. You still feel a little, you can't help but feel a little unnerved now that you are entirely on your own to make your own calls after so many months under the yoke of these yahoos. Does the group do anything immediately?
Well,
Marvel
Go
is
ahead.
just gonna grab the sword.
Okay. It is, and write this down, a crappy longsword. So it has a little different statistics than a longsword. You notice the pommel's a little wobbly and it's bent in an odd direction. So it does a D7 damage rather than a D8. And every time you score nat 1, the damage on this weapon, the dice is going to go down 1 more in the chain. So you're just sort of brutalizing this weapon worse and worse. It's going to go down to a D6, D5. So keep track of your nat 1s on this one. But as you're, pulling this thing off of him, the belt, scabbard, and the whole thing, You notice he has a pack and a dagger and such and thus, armor and puke and beer soaked as it is.
Well, Tangerine goes for he's a fan of strange looking rocks, so he's going to go for the gem that Kale had handed over to him.
Okay. Roll a d30.
Okay, D30. 14.
Being a connoisseur of shiny round things, you surmise this thing's worth probably do you have a luck mod, by the way, on that character?
Yes, a +1.
You determine this thing's worth about 15 gold pieces. So this is
Oh.
a pretty this could set you up for life, this one.
Wow. Very nice.
Sorry, I had to leave the room for a second. Did someone go for his shield already?
No, it is there awaiting you.
Bill would like to pick that up.
Okay, you find yourself a possessor of a worn wooden shield, +1 to your armor class. It is equipped with the sigil of the golden goose, and it
Hello.
is caked in sweat and sort of filth.
Gross.
Yeah, he's not. Perchub wasn't. Cleanliness wasn't high on his virtue list.
Imagine that.
Yeah.
Let's put these things to good use.
Yeah, Parabris the halfling that was really all he had at this point. You said he had a pack. Did we rifle through it yet to see what was in that? Parabris would do something.
You know, you weasel through the vultures that are tearing through his equipment, and you find his pack is yet unperturbed. Do you do the honors?
Yeah, Parabris would look inside to see what was useful there.
It is contains his flask and a number of days worth of rations and food, food rations.
So
the standard camp rations that they equipped.
Parabris is going to take his belongings and sort of just tied to his back in the sailcloth that he carries with him, and instead fold them neatly into the pack and just shoulder the pack instead with his belongings. And Honus is looking around to find more of the trail of where the other soldiers might have gone, because that was the task he was set to.
All right. You guys follow on?
Yep.
Okay.
Parabris is actually the halfling. If Honus is seeing and pointing out, hey, I think the soldiers went this way, Parabris is going to go, do you think maybe we should just try to leave this forest?
You know how to get out of here?
Well, no, but I figure, I don't know, we could try looking for a way out rather than trying to find where those soldiers went in and probably got killed.
Ludabella said, go ahead.
We don't know that they got killed, and gosh, I'd feel far safer with them than without them.
Ludabella says, wait, we could ask the funny man.
What's all this about a funny man? Why did this whole thing happen? Why did Perchub attack us? This thievery? I'm still confused.
Yeah,
Hey, my sheep is gone.
Yeah, he was riding a sheep. Maybe it was your sheep. He makes friends real fast, I guess, huh? Funny little man. Have you seen the soldiers?
You're calling out to him, but you can't quite spot him. Kind of looking, it's like hard to hide a sheep, right? But you don't see where this guy's gotten off to. He might have taken his leave of you, as you hear no more music, nor the little jingling that seemed to be associated with his movements.
Thanks.
guess he's gone, you guys. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, I could go either way. But this forest is so beautiful. We should keep exploring.
And I will pause to say we are wrapping in 10. So you guys have successfully made it through part 1 of a 2-part adventure.
Yay!
And I will give you the heads up though that we are wrapping in 10. So we can press on and let you at least see what the other end. You're about to kind of see the gate to the other end of this. Technically it's a 3-chapter thing, but I think the 3rd chapter is pretty small. But anyway, what do you guys do?
Parabris is trying to look up to see if is it daytime or night at this point, and if he can see stars or judge direction by sunlight.
And that's a super great question that you wish you knew the answer to. This canopy is so thick and so obscured. You would guess it's twilight, but you would also have guessed it was twilight the second you entered, and that was hours ago.
Right.
So how it's hung on to twilight for this long is a bit of a mystery, but your body would tell you it's the middle of the night, like your body's screaming at you, like, why am I not asleep?
So the halfling kind of shrugs his shoulders and goes, hey, I navigate by rivers and sometimes by stars, but I don't have anything here. So I want to get out of this, and maybe finding that army is the best way to get out of this, but let's see what we can do. I'll go with the rest of you. I'm not going to go off on my own here.
Oh, Adrian, I think you're muted.
Oh, I wasn't talking.
Oh, okay.
But with no tracker, no forester, I don't feel confident about our escape by that path, that crazy path that we took. I have no idea how to get back. Might be better off finding these other men if possible.
All right. And so I take it from what we started saying earlier that Honus did see a way that at least he thinks is the direction that they went, because, or is it just?
Oh
there's
yeah,
just one
Honus is
path?
pretty confident they went that way.
I'm pretty sure if anybody went anywhere, they went this way.
All right, let's do it.
All right, with much confidence, you guys press on through the forest with what seems to be the path towards the where the army should be based on where you've been. You calculate using all of your natural navigation methods, which mean a whole pile of squat in a magical forest, and that no matter which path you take, puts you into a massive clearing, at the center of which is an enormous tree, some 50 paces across at its base. Rising up this tree rising up around the tree is a wide wooden walkway. Various windows and doors dot the sides of the tree, this massive tree. Visible along its trunk. Also, there are signs that a battle occurred here. Arrows pepper the bark, and a few humanoid figures are slumped along the walkway, this walkway that winds up the tree. They're slumped along it, motionless. Stranger still is the configuration of footmen who are all seem to have been slain in some sort of sacrificial ritual. Their bodies are arranged in a pentacle shape, and their flesh is oddly withered. These fallen are clearly the Earl's men.
Hey, everyone, I think I found them.
It's definitely not the bulk of his army. It is a squad for sure. Is any tracker or trapper remaining? Forester? No. Okay.
I mean,
No?
Ludabella is a farmer, a mushroom farmer, but
Well, mushroom knowledge might have you going through forest.
Yeah.
Yes, your knowledge indicates to you that there are no immediate edible mushroom around.
what about recreational mushrooms?
Roll luck, roll luck roll.
Yep. Ludabella likes those.
It's under my luck.
Ludabella finds that there are some curiously rare and wonderful mushrooms that will give her a whole new perspective on little men running around.
All right, she saves those for later.
Fail safe. Okay. Are there any elves remaining in the party? No.
Big fat nun.
No. Yeah.
Nope.
Okay.
Got a halfling or two.
They're not familiar with this.
Couple of farmers.
But I'll show you an image of what you're seeing here. So perhaps kind of. There we go.
That's cool. I mean,
Nice.
my elf was so stupid that she couldn't even speak Elvish. She could only speak Common. So I don't know how much help she would have been anyway.
Yeah, she was not deep into her people.
No.
It's too bad she died so quickly. I was really looking forward to hearing more from like the trust fund kid.
Rich backstory for yeah. Yeah, so this starts the next phase of it, which we probably won't have time to get into, but yeah, that was sort of the warm up, the trail leading to the tower. The tower is the next phase of it, and then the escape itself. So I think with another 2 hours, probably you guys could have finished. That was nice for 3 hours. We got pretty far. Got a taste of it. And
That
look,
was
you
fun.
even have a couple survivors already.
Even some
Yeah.
survivors.
So what
Picking up
did you
all the
end
forest.
up with? How many? 2 each or
3 here.
3 and 2? Okay. Yeah, that's about right for halfway through the adventure. I don't know
Good.
that many people got to this point with much more than what you guys have. But
I was worried our nat ones would put us on the low end of that curve because that was a lot of natural ones we got.
it's beautiful. That was a beautiful array of fumbling. Yes, that was quite right for role playing, I think. So
Should we decide anything regarding our fated choices? Or does that demand a full run?
yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have to finish this off of DCC Twitch time, which, if you guys want to try to finish this, I'm definitely, I can message you guys all and find a time if you want to try to do part 2. But yeah, so anyway, thank you guys for playing. I think we have reached our time right on time. They're counting us down to punt us out of here. Thanks to Goodman Games for letting us play your wonderful DCC game line. And thanks for Studio 9 and for Roll Funky Dice for sponsoring our play. And I hope everybody had fun with this. You guys did great. I loved the love that you put into zero level people, zero level characters. Not a lot of people put that kind of love in.
That's how they survive.
That's how that is how they survive, at least in some form or another.
I don't know
in
that
story.
Horus would have
That's
made
how
it
they.
this far.
That's how they survive in bardic tales. But yeah, if you ever want a really good time, go to the DCC Facebook channel and look up some of the stories people put up about zero level characters' deaths and stories and funnels and what they do with sacks and sticks and 10-foot poles. It's pretty creative. But yeah, great. So Alana's we're at 8:45. She's going to probably sign us out so we can say bye to everyone.
Bye. Thanks, Goodman Games.
Bye.
Thanks,
Shut us
everyone.
down.
Hey, that was a lot of fun. Thank you,
That
everyone.
was great. Thank you guys.
Thank you,
And,
Aaron.
yeah, sure. Thanks. I'll be in touch with you guys if we want to keep it up. So save your dudes and dudettes.
Sure.
You got it.